Live.
Right, we're live. We're just finishing his admin, aren't we, mate? And then we're gonna talk.
What you say?
We're live now, but we need to finish his admin before we talk.
I couldn't hear you then. You were a bit quiet. I weren't like you.
I'm never quiet, mate. You sure it weren't your tabs? I know they're poking out of that app, but
you are? Yeah.
Sure it weren't your tabs? I know they're poking out of that app, but
I have to do that. I can't hear very well otherwise. Not very
that's
good.
kind of what I was saying, mate.
It's from being winced
I suppose I was going to say, when you live in a house with 4 women, it's your body's natural defence, potentially, that, isn't it?
It's on, mate. I've done it. I've approved it.
Right, there we go. So now we have advertised to everyone that could potentially want to watch.
Episode 13. My favourite number.
Yeah.
13.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is that? Because you want to be like different, and because everyone thinks it's unlucky, is it?
I've always had 13. It's in my email address from when I were at secondary school. You know that like cringy email address you had when you were at secondary school.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed that number.
Did you wear it at any positions that you played in sport, or sub-keeper?
Yeah, sub-keeper. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I played 13 at rugby.
What is 13 at rugby?
Outside centre.
What does that mean? I don't know much about rugby.
Well, if you don't know how, I can't. What do you want me to tell you?
No, I mean, do you get stuck in, or do you just run with ball?
No, I didn't do any of that.
That's what I mean.
To take all glory. I was an artist, mate. That's what I was.
An artist at rugby.
I weren't a lump.
I didn't know rugby's did art. Rugby players did art.
I was pretty skillful, mate. Very.
What's skill? Right, come on then. Let's get stuck into this. What's skillful about rugby? Now, I'm not saying. Well, let me just preface that, rather than preface. That obviously there's a skill element.
Yeah.
But isn't it just a very basic sport that if you're good at it,
run forward, pass back.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's not much to it, is there? You grab people that have got ball, you throw it and catch it. Like, it's not like you can like do a step over and twinkle toes and that, is it? Like you can in football or like stuff like that.
There's just a lot. Your experience obviously is very limited from that comment.
Yeah, true.
There's a lot more to it than just run forward, pass backwards, mate. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's probably on a par, like skill level wise, like hand-eye coordination, moving a ball at high speed, I guess, for a human being. Do you know what I mean? Like the accuracy to, like you watch some international rugby now and the passing, and do you know what I mean? It's pinpoint, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not hard, is it? You're always throwing it behind you, like.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should try it. Maybe we should take it live.
I'm up for that, mate. There's a row room and all, so if you miss one, it goes to other. You're laughing, really, aren't you? You can't fail.
Yeah, you can't miss. You can't drop it. Nothing.
And like, I'll have a go.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll go live, mate.
Well, maybe we'll go down to training or something, away a club. Get your boots on. See how you handle it.
Well, I'm not saying they're not hard. I don't want to get smashed in the face by an 18-stone youth with one of them funny hats on. Like, I'm not interested in that. I just think catching and throwing is not that difficult.
Well, I'd beg to differ, mate.
Right. Well, we'll set something up, and I'll catch and throw, and
we'll do it on
speaking of catch.
The project. We'll make a little square, and we'll have a head-to-head.
Yeah. I just think there's more skill in, like, I think football's a way more skilled sport.
Do you think? I don't know.
Well, considering the only people that play rugby are people that weren't good enough to play football, that's the first entry point, isn't it? Couldn't get in football team, so you went and played rugby.
I don't know. I got in football team, but I decided to go and play rugby.
Yeah, but like, I bet it was surrounded by a load of people that couldn't get in football team, weren't you? I'm just saying. I just think it's like you play football, you end up either at left back, in net, or playing rugby. That's what I reckon. Speaking of, there you go, your natural progression, mate. Speaking of catching and throwing, imagine, mate, them reactions. But speaking of catching and throwing, Stacey says netball.
Yeah, big game.
When does Project Netball start? When are we playing?
I don't know. I've left it. It's out of my hands that I'm a participant in that event. I'm a goal defence. I'm a fucking animal as well.
You can't even touch people, though, can you?
Yeah, but they won't be getting anywhere near ball when I'm in there, in that third.
I think as we're talking about the skill level descending from football to rugby, netball's got to be down there, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, you can't move with ball for one.
Yeah.
Can't coordinate too much at once. Don't move. Don't move.
Once, mate, I was in a bar in Boston. God, it must have been 2012, 2013. And we were watching March Madness run, which is playoffs in American basketball for college. And we were got talking to some Yanks, and they'd never heard of netball. And everyone had a few beers. We started showing them videos of netball, and they couldn't believe what they were watching. They were the funniest thing ever, because they were so used to basketball, fast-paced, moving with ball. Yeah. And we showed them netball, and they couldn't get their head around it. But yeah, I think you just have to judge a sport's skill level by the standard of its participants, I would say. And the higher... Now, I'll set myself up here, but I think the higher up the sport chart you go in terms of elite level, if you can be an elite level in a particular sport without being of elite fitness, then I don't think that sport is a skilled sport in the way that, because if I think about being skilled, I'm talking all encompassing fitness levels, skill levels, abilities, all those things encompassing to what makes a skilled athlete. Yeah. So if you look at, maybe rugby's a bit different, but if you can be, if you can't run 400 meters in 2 minutes, but you can get in an international rugby team, I don't know. It's the same with netball. You don't have to move. So some of them lasses are going to be big.
I don't think you'd find an international rugby player that wouldn't run 400 meters in 2 minutes, mate. I think them days are long gone.
You reckon? Some of them lads look big, mate.
Yeah, but big and mobile, mate. It's like that Kia advert. You remember it?
Yeah, I do actually. What we're saying, Jake's saying, body of governance, physical elements, scoring system. You used to be able to define a sport. Well, yeah, because you look at darts players, you're not going to call them elite athletes, are you?
Well, they're not bad at throwing darts.
Well, I guess we could get into that. I don't know. I think I just want everyone to look like a CrossFitter. All my elite athletes to look like CrossFitters. Maybe that's it.
Though, imagine some of them playing sport. I've seen some athletes try and move the body in a different direction to forwards and backwards or up and down, and it's fucking tragic.
Yeah. Well, what year were it when they were ball throw at CrossFit Games?
Was it like 2010, 11, something like that? Yeah,
100%. Do you reckon 100% Greg made him put that in just to make him look twats because he hated the sport anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked. That was funny on it, but
yeah. Right, let's get stuck in, mate. So since we're on about throwing and catching, let's go straight into a review of the open workout. Let's do that before we go on to, because I titled the shows because I'm the creative element of this. You just you don't really provide much feedback when I ask for help with that. But I called it All We Do Is Win because that was in reference to Project going to CrossFit with them and cleaning the fuck up. But since we've been talking about throwing and catching, I think we'll start with 26.1. So when that gets announced, how horny were you?
I like wall balls a lot. Yeah, I was very excited. I like box jump overs as well. I don't like box jumps though. I hate box jumps, but I like box jump overs.
I'm up away with that, mate. I can jump up, step down all day, but I'm not. I don't know. You've seen that video I put on that reel. Yeah, I'm the least amount of grace for a box over. I don't know. Why do you prefer them? Because you don't have to stand up.
I don't know. I just find it. I just find them. I find a better rhythm, control breathing a bit better. Box jumps, I get tired. I just end up like doing a box jump. Good morning. Lower back starts getting jacked up. Whereas box jump over. I've always quite liked to be honest. And I like a step over. Not bothered either. Step over, dumbbells, kettlebells, wall ball. Never done a wall ball step over before till yesterday, but I don't mind them either.
So let's recap the workout then. So for those that aren't familiar, which is bizarre that you're watching this if you were.
I was living under a rock.
Yeah, we were 20 wall balls, 18 box jump overs, 30 wall balls, 18, 40 wall balls, 18 wall ball step overs, 66 wall balls, and then the same but back down.
Yeah, you thought it finished, didn't you? About 66 wall balls.
No, 56. I thought it finished. 56 wall balls in, mate. Yeah. So that was my first effort on that, but we'll come into that. We'll ridicule my performances a little later because I do like that to happen. But in terms of the workout, so when that gets announced, what are you thinking? Like, let's do it from a gym point of view first, as an affiliate owner that's got just hours before class members coming to have a crack. What did you think?
I was relieved. I was happy. I just thought, perfect. 12 minutes. All I need is a wall ball and a box. Nothing complex in there. 60-minute timeline. I can get 2 heats through of people, half working out, half judging, and then swap. I thought it was, easy to run. Flowed well all day for us, really. It was nice. Really nice.
I thought that when I was obviously up at CrossFit Glasgow, and they've got their gyms in Archers, so it's quite long and thin.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been a better workout for them because they just lined all the boxes up down the middle. Everyone had the wall ball targets on the walls at either side. It just made for a good spectacle. So they managed to get quite a few through as well. So how many people? How many people Project got through it on Friday? How many people come and hit it? So it was rammed all day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were busy all day. I think we had about just over 120 get the job done.
Quality.
So yeah, it was proper. It was busy. We had about, what do we have? Yeah, it must have been 120. We had about 30. We had 4 CrossFit classes that day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening. There was pretty much 30, just over 30 on each one. So yeah, great turnout, to be fair.
And from your point of view, then, when you're looking at that workout, how did you break it down for the people doing it to start with? Because obviously you coach the morning classes. So, as a coach delivering it to people that are, the laymen such as me, what were your coach's notes and briefings for people when they look at it? Because, you look at that and you might think, fucking hell, I'm never getting that done. But that was kind of the point for sort of my level and that. So how do you brief that effectively to make sure people aren't just overcome with it?
Well, I made a bit of a joke of it, to be honest. I asked if anyone was going to finish. And for
any takers?
No one said they would. I just made people aware that obviously it was going to be a 12-minute. It's a 12-minute AMRAP for 99.9% of the population. So people were fully aware that they were going to be working out for 12 minutes. So pace yourself as if that's going to be the case. And I think with that, the main thing was although the movements in themselves aren't complex, the combination of those 3 things together. Like I said to some people, where do you take, usually in a workout like couplet, triplet, whatever it might be, there's like, I always call it a rest station, but like there's an opportunity somewhere to grab a breath, compose yourself a little bit. Where does that happen? And I think most people thought it was going to happen on the step over, but then that fucking wall ball for most, I watched people do it that morning, obviously that evening, and they just made it look so awkward. There you go. No one is here finishing this workout. There you go. I was honest.
So what would you like? What did you advise people? How did you advise people to hold it, the wall ball? Because like
I had the side or on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And I had a run at both when I did it, and I held it on my shoulder for about 3 seconds, and I was like, "Fuck that." So I just tried to hold it kind of at my front with a long arm, my fingers kind of interlocked. Just let it hang there, really, as opposed to like holding it as such with a bent arm. Just try and take some pressure off. I think a lot of people. I think it happens a lot where you give someone an object and they feel like they have to try and tear it to pieces, as opposed to just like just trying to relax with something in your hand. It's like, I don't know. You'll see it often. Like people get a barbell in the front rack, and they're just like gripping onto it to the point where the knuckles go wide. I'm like, just relax a little bit. Like it's not going to go anywhere. And then they're like, oh yeah, my elbows get way higher. I'm like, yeah, no shit. So yeah, I think that was probably a bit of a common mistake for most. I just think they found it awkward because they were probably trying to hold onto the ball too tight. But yeah, for me, it was that really. Where was that recovery station? There just was no let up. It was just 12 minutes of, and I think the ascending ladder always catches people out because everyone thinks fucking hell, here we go, watch this, I'm going to finish it. And then they get to like that 40 wall balls. And then they're like, oh shit. And then they get to the 66 and they're like, oh shit.
I've seen so many people because obviously being at Glasgow, obviously I was at Project in the morning and then being at CrossFit Glasgow, basically just kind of watching people go through the workout. So many people, like they're into the 66 with like 5.5 minutes to go and not finishing them. It was just like, and you were like watching it unfold in real time and you were almost like you wanted to go over when they're on 40 wall balls and say, just slow down, mate. And it was just like, brutal.
You've got to, I always think that anyway, I'm probably a bit maybe too conservative too often, to be honest, but I think it comes with experience. And I think you've got to set off at the start with the end in mind. And I think most people just set off at the start with nothing in mind. And just cross the fingers and hope for the best. And when you've got a workout like that, where it's ascending ladder, it's never, ever going to end well because that's a 12-minute high heart rate, like consistent moving workout. The people who move the most consistently for 12 minutes get the best score.
Yeah, I completely misjudged. I don't know what I misjudged on Friday. I had an absolute mare with it. But I don't know. I think I rested too much and also I have this thing where, like, sometimes I think I'm going to end up in pain anyway, and I'm going to slow down. So sometimes I'll start a bit faster, knowing that. Yeah. Because my problem were I started slow to save myself, but then just continue to get slower anyway.
Yeah,
so
it happened anyway.
So I'm maybe way too conservative at the start. But like I said to you, and I redid it, and I redid it Monday, and I was talking to, I don't know if it was you I was talking to, it might have been like Jake or one of the lads. I was like, they couldn't, no, in fact, it was Anna at the gym. She couldn't understand why I didn't care if I beat my score or not, because I weren't doing it to as such beat my score, but I was I'm like right good in my own head. When I'm doing a workout and it gets shit, I'm right good at just being like, stop being a fanny, fucking stop being I talk to myself like that to motivate myself. And for some reason on Friday, I was just like, I couldn't talk myself out of it being shit. And then I just felt like I'd just been a fanny all day and I couldn't get that lingering feeling off me. So when I did it the next time, the point was to just come off thinking I gave everything. If the score was less, I didn't give a shit. I just didn't want that horrible feeling of giving in, because I felt like I gave in during it, even though I carried on. Don't you, mentally I'd checked out or rubbish. Yeah. But like, and I underestimated it. I thought like when I came on Friday, I was like, I'll get into that 40 wall balls on the way down. I might only get 1 or 2, but that would be pretty straightforward. And I got 56 into the 66, and the wall ball were on the floor for the last 15 seconds of the workout. We're absolutely criminal from start to finish.
That's unexcusable, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't even. That's what I mean, and that's why it left that bad taste. But then when I redid it, it were a little better.
Where did you get to?
I got 8 of the 18 step overs done on the way down. So
after the 66.
Yeah, I should. There were a few times when I took really extended rest. I maybe could have got them done and maybe got 1 wall ball, but I was satisfied. I gave it. I had it. You know what I mean? I came off the gym floor thinking that was the best I could have done, so I'm happy. But it was way better for me to not. Because on the first time I went 10, 10. I basically went 10s all the way on the wall balls. On the redo, I did the 20. I did the 30 in 2 sets and just did it. So that just took about 30, 40 seconds of rest off straight away, because I'm not the most disciplined at resting. That's another problem I have.
That was important as well with that workout. Really important.
What, discipline breaks?
Just discipline breaks, like managing rest time and making sure that if you were going to break and break often, that you were going to manage your rest and you weren't going to let it bleed into what was 5 seconds in your head to 15 seconds actually on a clock, because you start timesing that by 8 to 10 rest periods across the workout. It's a big old chunk of time, isn't it?
It is. And so, how did you get on, mate? Talk us through your score and then how you approached it.
So I went 309 reps, which was 23 wall balls in the 30 on the way back down. And I did it on Monday because I've been feeling a bit ropey for the week. Really, come to our house, you just catch something at the minute. It's a fucking nightmare. Everyone's ill. Kids are ill. Charlotte's been ill. It got me last week. So yeah, I kind of left it as long as I could, and then yesterday I was just like, right, I have to go. I have to do it. And so it made me it was good in a sense because it made me approach it a bit differently. Because I think if I'd have been fit and well, I'd have just gone for it. I'd have just gone for broke, like hold on to the wall ball and just see what happens, basically. Whereas actually I went into it way more conservatively. I broke it up from the 40 on the way up. I think I sent it to you, didn't I? I did like 2 sets on the 40 on the way up. I then did 5 or 6 sets on the 66. I did 4 sets on the way out on the 40, but I was just dead. Because I knew I was going to do that. I was just really, really disciplined when I did put the ball down. I knew exactly when I was going to put it down. I took 5 seconds on the clock and I picked it back up and did the next set. And I was almost like ticking boxes. I was like, right, this is 12 wall balls. 12 wall balls, tick the box, 5 second rest. Right, this is 10 wall balls, tick the box, do the reps. And like sets like that, I think if you can manage rest and keep your heart rate down, I guess it just shows like I came out with a pretty decent score. It'd be interesting to see, like, to compare if I do it again, maybe further down the line and just go for it and see what happens if there's much difference in score. Because I know I've got a friend at the gym, Reese, who most people know, did it on the Friday night and he went unbroken literally the whole way through. And he got 8 wall balls into the 30. So I beat him by 15 reps, but I had 10 breaks. So it just shows that sometimes going unbroken, like if it means you're going way slower on the box or whatever on the jump overs, it's not always conducive to a great score. So it was a good little learning curve for me, to be fair, because I just really didn't want to do it yesterday. It got to like 3:30. I knew I was going to have to do it, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to, if that makes sense. I knew it wasn't going to be an accurate representation of where my current fitness level is, because I'm fitter than I ever have been. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with the outcome, to be honest.
So before you did it, and before you, let's say, obviously when the workout got announced, you're probably having an idea of where you could get to. Yeah. What were you thinking then beforehand?
What to get to?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's an odd one. I think it was one of them you didn't really know until you'd done it as to where it was all going to shake out. Because it's not like, I don't know, often you've got some prior experience of doing movements together, which gives you an idea of roughly like what it's going to feel like. And I don't think I've ever done a workout really that ascending ladder like that was. I know it descended on the back end, but wall balls, box jump overs, and then obviously with the med ball step over as well. It was such a unique kind of test with the rep scheme, the format, knowing full well that you weren't going to finish. Like it was quite a difficult one to go, oh yeah, I'm probably going to get to here kind of thing. So I went into it with a pretty open mind, to be honest. I didn't have any huge expectations. I just thought I'm just going to give it my best shot and just be as disciplined as I can. I'm pretty good at doing that, like just being disciplined with rest periods and not letting the workout kind of momentum stall, and like just knowing your pace. Like I don't have any split times. I could get the CCTV up and have a look, but I don't think if you pulled my split times out, they'd be much different from minute 2 to minute 12. And like I mentioned there, I think that's a workout that the people who move the most consistently across the 12-minute period have success.
Yeah, that it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I think like the better the athlete and the fitter the athlete, the more disciplined they're able to be with the rest periods. So it's almost like
Yeah,
I don't know,
know
because
if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. I think I don't think the fitter the athlete. I think the more experienced the athlete, the more disciplined they can be because they understand. Like for me, I understood that if I was going to do sets of like anywhere between 20 and 10 wall balls, which most of the sets were, like I knew that I could afford to take 5 seconds rest and pick it up and do the next set. I think most people go in and like think, oh, I could do sets of 15 wall balls and take 5 seconds rest and I'll be all right, and realize pretty soon that they're not going to be all right. And that's I don't think that's a fitness thing. I think that's an experience thing because you can get someone who's not as fit but really experienced. Like for example, like you're quite experienced, right? You make good decisions in workouts, strategies that suit where you're at on a fitness level, depending on what movements and rep schemes and stuff. And sometimes you beat people that you'd say were fitter than you at workouts, but it's because you know yourself much better. And I think people fall into that trap quite a bit.
Yeah, it was me that I had in mind though when I made the last point, because I strategize pretty well, but in this one for me, having less rests was better because these movements I'm not great at. Yeah, having the opportunity, giving myself more opportunity to rest was worse for me because I wasn't disciplined with my rest. And did
you do too big a sets of movements that you're not great at? Thinking you could do that number. You know, like you said, like I don't know what you were doing tens. Well, tens was obviously too many.
Yeah, I know, but then I did more than tens on the redo and did better.
Yeah, but what I mean. Mindset was in a shit spot on Friday, and you could see I was coaching that class, and you were being pathetic. You were just moping around. Body language was poor. Like you'd given up on the workout 6 minutes in because you'd already succumbed to the fact that the outcome at the end of it wasn't going to be what you'd anticipated it was going to be. It was going to be because you'd had this expectation that you were going to get some wall balls in the 40. You saw the clock and where you were at and realized that actually I'm going to get nowhere fucking near it. So I mean, you didn't do any wall balls for the last 15 seconds of the workout. Like,
that's fucking terrible, isn't it?
Who even does that?
It was funny because like Lucy was judging me. I put it down for a rest to just do a big, for a big finish for the last 15 seconds. And I looked at the clock and just went, oh, fuck it. And just stood there. It's just not what I want to be at all. That
you redo on Monday, right? You redo on Monday. You're not any fitter. Physiologically, you're not any fitter. If anything,
I was fucking.
Your legs are in absolute tatters. Your legs are fatigued, and you've got. And I've done. Well, it's that strategy and attitude that's got you a better score. It's not physiological fitness.
Yeah, definitely. Because like after the weekend being like late night Friday, driving back to Glasgow, setting up Saturday for Defiant Ones, doing Defiant Ones all day Sunday. There was no way I should have been.
8:30 on Monday morning, on your own, on your top.
Yeah, I had Maddie give me a few no reps. Fucking hell, they hurt, don't they? On a wall ball, you've done it. I remember there were one, mate, I threw it barely at bottom target, and I thought, there's no way I'm getting that. And then I just heard her say, sorry. Yeah, that wasn't even a fucking debatable one. But yeah, it was good in the end, though. So you're all happy with your score. I forgot to put my fucker in, mate. I put it in box, mate. I put my first score in box, mate, because my score and our team count. But I didn't put it in on I didn't even put my old one in. I didn't put either on them into CrossFit Games. I woke up at 4 this morning and went, oh, fuck me. So cracking zero. Yeah, 0 for that, and then I'll be scaled by next week like I normally am. So
that's top.
My moment's gone.
Winner, isn't it? Quarterfinals.
Yeah, mate. Another year at quarterfinals are just out of reach.
You could have made it, depending on the workouts.
Yeah, fuck me, we could all make it depending on workouts, couldn't we? Jesus.
Never say never. This week might be like a burpee dumbbell snatch, and then maybe a 20-minute bike on the last week.
Yeah, imagine. I'd be fucking wounded if it is. So what would you think this week then? So, like, do you reckon wall balls being in discounts thrusters? We're not going to see a thruster. I think that sort of logic applies.
I mean, I don't really like guessing. I hate guessing I just think it's a complete waste of energy and it's pointless. But I don't know. Over the course of 3 weeks, 3 workouts, we've already seen a thruster movement in the wall ball. Do we see thruster again? Well, there has been thrusters in every single Open that there's ever been. I don't know. Do they get rid of them, or is it kind of one of them things, or do they think, right, well, actually, the unknown and the unknowable, constantly varied, all that kind of thing? Well, if there's been thrusters in the last, 19 Opens, like, is it about time that there wasn't any thrusters? If we talk about constantly varied functional movement performed at relative high intensity, well, there's not much constantly varied about 19 years worth of thrusters, is there? So
No,
yeah, I
I
don't
guess
know. I don't know. I'd assume this week there'll be some kind of workout that kind of separates the field a little bit, whether that's a gymnastics-based movement that everyone can start and not everyone can finish in terms of like ascending skill level, or is there an ascending barbell load that kind of chops some people off? I don't know. And I always think they're fun workouts. I think they're great workouts, those. I love an ascending barbell. I think they're fucking mint. I always love them on a Saturday at the project. I often change workouts at the project to make them ascending barbell because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's like on a level playing field, and then it just starts to separate out, doesn't it? Where people have made bad decisions.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's something, and I think it's nice, particularly in the Open, because everyone can, if you want to go in there and you want to RX it, because you can get so far at that point. And it creates that opportunity, like if it's gymnastics or if it creates that little bit of magic where someone does something that they didn't think they'd perhaps be able to do. I don't know, maybe someone gets a bar muscle up, or someone snatches a weight that they've never snatched before, or whatever, which I think is what the Open's about, really, for the general.
I like it with barbells. You know, when someone PRs or PBs a barbell movement, I think that's pretty cool. But one thing I've never seemed to buy into, and I don't know why it is, because, you know, like, I'm a man of the community and I love the community feel. But watching someone who has no fucking business attempting a muscle up for 10 minutes and then getting one with arms all over like a human swastika, I'm coining that because someone called it me when I did a muscle up once. But I just, to me, that's not, I don't know. I'm not cheering for you. Like, I don't know what's just happened. You've just injured yourself for 6 weeks. I'm not, like, I'm sorry, but that's not my idea of a good time watching that. But
I understand that.
And then what do you reckon to the? And I don't know. Like, there's like debates about this, but you know, so at the moment, the people that have finished this workout. Like got it done in its entirety, is skewed almost like 2-1 in the favour of women.
Yeah.
So where do you stand on the woman's wall ball standard? Because obviously they scale the weight and the target height, and I know it doesn't matter because women are in one category, men are in another. But do you think that's a sort of a discrepancy in terms of the movement, or do you think it's irrelevant?
Well, this will make you laugh, right? I went down the rabbit hole. I was like, yes, what was it? 246 wall balls total in the workout?
Yeah, so around that, wasn't it?
Like that. So I was like, well, because I couldn't believe
it was
the difference in time, even like the top male times compared to top female times. It's like, it's more than a minute difference, more than a minute quicker. So I was like, well, obviously the ball has to travel 246 foot further upwards and 246 foot further downwards, right? So that's like just under 500 foot's worth of travel. So I was like, well, I thought, well, what I'll do is I'm going to Google, if I was to drop a 9 kilo med ball from a 246 foot building, how long would it take to hit the floor? You know, like, to give me some seconds. And I was like, that might equate for some of the time. But obviously, I'm talking about here, what do we say? It was over a minute. I didn't think it'd be over a minute. And it came out and it was 3.9 seconds. And I was like, that's that theory is discounted completely. It's like 4 seconds. Well, let's say it's 4 seconds down and 4 seconds up. We found 8 seconds. I don't know. Maybe loading. I don't know. I think if you were gonna change the standards, you do one or the other. You change the load or you change the height, right? And
Yeah.
I think at the CrossFit Games, I think more often than not, the height is universal for male and female. I think it has been on wall ball workouts performed at the Games. It's been the same height for both genders. So whether you keep the load 9 and 6, obviously in the UK, or 20 and 14 in the US, and everyone throws to a 10-foot target. But I think it's one of them. You'd have to run the workouts and see how it affected it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you'd be able to just guess and go, "Oh, this is what we should do." And I'm always a big fan of like pulling one lever and then seeing what happens before pulling the next one, as opposed to pulling all the levers at the same time and going, "Well, actually, what had the impact?"
Yeah.
But who am I to say, right?
Yeah, it's just interesting because, like you said, the discrepancy it's just huge. It's just really, really noticeable. So it is interesting to sort of understand why that is, if that's deemed a comparison that's it's not the test of time, isn't it?
It's not the 246 foot worth of falling from the target.
You know what I would say though, in your measure, it's a flawed measure what you put in, because speed and velocity is exponential. So the further it falls, the faster it falls. So if you think,
yeah, I suppose that was in a vacuum as well. So if it was in a vacuum, so no external kind of factors. But yeah, I suppose if you drop something, it gets to terminal velocity. If you drop it from 246 foot, and I know obviously it's dropping a foot at a time every single rep, so, but it's not going to equate for a minute, right?
It isn't, but if you think over 246 reps, if every single rep was half a second, then that's 120. That's 2 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe I was right. The theory was correct.
Drop something 1 foot 500 times. It's at least 500 seconds. Yeah, it's got to be something to do with that, hasn't it? Because there's just never any on something as basic as that, I think. But then would a male wall ball drop faster because it's heavier and a female? You know what I mean? There's so much. This should be something. We need to find an absolute nerd that loves CrossFit and get him to do some kind of study on this, and like a proper science nerd.
Like there is no what does it fucking matter?
Oh no, it doesn't. It's just interesting to talk about, isn't it?
It doesn't. The female leaderboard is the female leaderboard. The male leaderboard is the male leaderboard. There's no.
Yeah.
You can't compare across. You can't really compare across the two. There's always been this debate more recently that women's loading is like not heavy enough, like in relation to what the standard is now compared to what it used to be. But at the end of the day, what does it matter? It's a fair playing field for those two categories.
Yeah, but it depends how you look at that. You're thinking about that from a sport point of view, but if you look at it from a CrossFit sort of pure point of view, the stimulus is what's important, not the score. So wouldn't the stimulus need to be an accurate reflection of the two, or an accurate comparison of the two, in order for both people to get it? Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily about the times being faster as such, but if a male has a load that's heavy comparable to the female load, and not comparable to the female load, then they're going to get different stimulus from the workout, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's like, we're talking about there what it should feel like for an individual. Well, that you choose the load based off how it should feel for you. Like what the fucking number says on the plate or on the dumbbell, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like I know some people get themselves wrapped around the axle about, oh, I did this at RX or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Like, it's about, like you said, it's hitting the right weight for you for that workout to get the thing out of it that you're looking to get out of it. Which is where a lot of people miss the point. What weight that is, like, let's say, for example, it's prescribed at 60 for the men, 42.5 for the women. There's nothing to say that if let's say it's great, 60-30 clean and jerks for time, and you want people to finish somewhere kind of anywhere between like for the general population, you're probably going to say anywhere between kind of the 2 and 5, 2 and 4 minute range. It wants to be a short, fast workout where you can probably do one unbroken set at the start and then quick singles or quick doubles to finish. Like, who's to say that if there's a female in your gym and 42.5 means that they can do the whole thing unbroken? Well, then they need to go heavier than 42.5. It's not like you have to do this workout at 42.5 kilos.
Yeah.
Same for a male. Do you know what I mean? If you've got someone like that in your gym, that's the coach's responsibility to go, I think you should do this a bit heavier.
Yeah. And like you say, yeah, you just got to understand how you feel on that day, aren't you? Because, we've all done it. You've gone to pick up a bar that's normally all right, and on that day it feels heavy. You're like, well, fucking hell. Yeah, and then you have to put your ego aside, strip the weight, and just get the right stimulus, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, today, perfect example. I've done today's workout, and I thought I felt all right. My legs feel a bit sore, but Jesus, like as soon as I warmed up and picked the bar up, I was like, oh my God, like this does not feel like it should.
What was the workout today?
It was 21:15.9 hang power clean, push press, box jump, mint sound.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was lovely. So yeah, that was at 60. That was 60, 42.5. So yeah, and probably like fresh. I mean, I'd done it way different than I did today, but I just broke it up early because I just knew my legs felt like absolute trash.
Just getting it done then.
Ticking the box.
Right. Let's have a quick recap on Witham then before we close it out. So the Witham Invitational every year, Adam at Witham puts on an event, invites. Well, it used to be less, but now were there 8 gyms there this time?
Yeah, it used to be. It's always a similar number, I think. It's always like 6 to 8 gyms, but the gyms that go have varied from year to year, depending on obviously if they can get all the teams. And then he's invited like some. I mean, we didn't go on the first year. I think the first year they did it was 2016 or 2015, maybe. Obviously, we didn't have a gym then, so I think the first year we went was 2018, and we've been every year since. And there's been some gyms that kind of have gone, and new gyms have come, and yeah. But it's always kind of 6 to 8 teams per category. Let's call it.
And the categories are elite, masters,
elite,
wild
masters,
card.
loose term elite, but yeah, masters, mavericks. What's the other one?
Wild card, rookies.
And rookies. And wild card was like an addition, I don't know, a few years ago. That was never used to be a thing. It used to be just the other 4 categories when we first started. So yeah, we've been going 8 years now.
And you won it in 2018, didn't you? You won a league in 2018.
Won it first year, and then won it again this year. 8 years.
And that were it. That 8 years on, and no victories in between.
Yeah, Witham have won it every year since then. No one's won it other than Witham.
Well, with fucking workouts he programs, and now they make less sense the more he explains them. I'm not surprised because they'll know how to understand and interpret what he's actually saying, won't they? Because they are a bit chaotic, the workouts, aren't they?
Some of them, yeah.
And then the format is teams of 6, 3 male, 3 female, and so Project took a team from in each category. Yeah. And what do we get? 3 or 4 goals? 3, 4?
3. You won the Masters, didn't you?
We did.
The wild card team won, and then the elite team won, and then the wild card team won the open category, didn't it? Where the top team from each of the categories, Mavericks, wild card, rookie, and Masters, compete to be the open champion in the final. And the wild card team won that, didn't they? You obviously were in that final as well, weren't you?
Well, I don't know.
You set off with everyone else.
In some capacity, that was the worst part of the day because for us, we went to have a bit of fun, and then like after 2 workouts, we were winning. So then it stopped being fun for me, and it started being about winning. Yeah. I'm like competitive, but I'm competitive like with a brain. if I don't think I'm going to win, it don't ruin my day. I'll just have fun. But the moment there's a sniffer of victory, right, now we fucking lock it in. I can't help it. And then we did that. We won. And then we got to the final. We knew we were going to get filled in. We knew we were probably going to finish last. And I was stood there doing fucking thrusters thinking, why am I doing this? We've already lost this bit. We've already won. We've already lost. And I'm stood here getting filled in.
100 bench press to get the show on the road.
Yeah, that were all right.
Yeah.
And then it just went. I think 60 lunges at 30 kg.
75 lunges, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I only did 60 of them.
Oh, did you?
At 30 kg, yeah. And then I think I did 45 at 50 thrusters at 35, which, if anyone knows me and has seen me do a thruster, you can imagine the battle I had there.
Well, we've seen you do a wall ball, so, and that's 9 kilos. So you imagine it with 35.
But for you guys, like, what was your highlight of the day? I know winning's winning, but
I don't know. Was there a highlight? It was all kind of just, it was a great day. I loved it. It's mint. I think it's fun every year. It's nice to take so many people. Obviously, we take 30 members to go and compete. Some that have never competed before. It's always good fun. Like I love going down to Witham and get to see some old faces that we get to see probably once a year now. Like we only ever see them when we go down there, so it's always cool to do that. And we had a few people come and watch and support, which is great. I thought the first workout obviously kicked things off with a 5K run, which most people would hate. I mean, I don't like running. I hate running. But I just think it's a great way to start, particularly for like people that are apprehensive about doing it. The feeling of achievement once they've done it, far outweighs the apprehension that came before it. And I had loads of people that PB'd the 5K that day, and it's a great thing to take away from the day for anyone that did it. And then
I certainly didn't PB mine.
The workouts were cool, and I always think like I never go into anything now with any expectation because as I'm just there, I just want to have a good time. I'm just happy to be there. Do you know what I mean? So it was great that we just went in, we worked hard, and we came out on top. Like if we'd have come out fourth, second, third, it'd have still been as good a day. It was like the cherry on the cake, really. But yeah, I guess if I was to pick a moment, the acid bath was fucking so cool. I love that. I love that workout. I love the workout because obviously I like those three things together, and the fact that it finishes on the C2 bike. And the thing that I loved about that the most is that, again, we didn't necessarily have the fittest teams there. But we had we just had the best strategy. Because people just set off on that workout like they just take the brain out, and I'm just like, I don't know. Everyone thinks it's so short. It's just not. Like everyone sets off at like 4.5 minute acid bath pace. And then they get halfway through the rower and they feel like they've been punched in the face, and then it's all over, and before they know it, they finish at 6.5 minutes. Yeah,
and for further context on it, that's like a good sort of overview. If you're doing it on your own, still not get too excited. But then the style in which it was programmed meant it was waterfall, so you could only realistically go as fast as the person in front of you. So unless you were getting off the machine at exactly the same time as them, you'd already wasted energy. So that was the other strategy part that came in, when it being aware who were in front and how fast they were going, so that you could just be on their coattails enough to get on the machine after them, but not spend too much time. And it
just worked perfectly. I think like for us, obviously in our category, us doing it, we won that event and it worked perfectly. Like we were behind. We were behind the whole event until the bike. And then we just absolutely roasted people. And then you guys did exactly the same. I just followed the same strategy, like lingered in the background. Everyone's like raring through the ski erg and the rower, and then got to the bike and legs just fell off everywhere. And we just roared past them to the finish. And it's just great. Do you know when a plan comes together? There's nothing more satisfying.
And it does, like, even when I believed in the plan because I'm an erg man just like you. And I believed in it, but even when you believe in it and you know it's the right, when you see people going, you have to pull yourself back.
You've got to trust you've got to have a bit of nerve and trust the process, and that's what we did, and it came off. So that was a pretty sweet feeling to jump.
And
off that
I need to say, mate, my highlight, obviously, my highlight's usually me, so it's a good highlight when I'm not my own highlight. When that guy was on the bike at the side, yeah, and his mate, he was pedaling his little heart out. He'd spent his load on rowing to ski, and his mate said to him, "Don't let him catch you." And you just looked over while biking and went, "I'm going to catch you." And it was was pretty special, that.
Yeah, he didn't have much hope, to be fair. He was in a bad place. He went out way too fast.
Well, you always know, don't you, when someone's on a C2 bike and having a bad time, when you start coming out of the saddle and trying to get, and they're sitting and they're wobbling about or moving from side to side. That's when you know.
About like holding your nerve. Like, I always think with that, if someone sets off, like, and you let them go a bit and you hold your nerve and you stick to your plan, like, if they continue at that pace and finish, hats off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great, what unbelievable effort. Do you know what I mean? So it's a win-win, really, because if someone they'd gone off and they'd beaten us, like, and they'd gone off Ter Arsen into Skierg, into Rower, and then managed to hang on to it on the C2 bike, then fair enough, you hold your hands up, don't you? But yeah, it was pretty cool, that. And then just at the end, to step on that podium, obviously it was winner takes all in our final. Like we were in the lead going to the final, and it was double points in the final to it all come down to them last 50 thrusters at the end for that last group of 3. It was just, it was good. But there was no chance we weren't going to win at that point. Like, I weren't going to let that go.
Similar to what I said before, it's like, we're there to have fun until it comes down to, actually, we could win. Now it's about winning.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. Like,
it's always fun winning, isn't it?
You don't go all that. Yeah, but you don't. Like I said, though, it wouldn't have mattered if we didn't. Because we didn't go in with any expectation to win. It was always just about going there and having a good time and doing some workouts with some friends from the gym. But yeah, obviously you go that far, and in the moment, like, I don't know, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? Because I look back now and the way we did them thrusters as that group of that sub team of 3, and like it wasn't that hard. You know what I mean? Because the focus point is so far away from how difficult it is to how much do we want to win. Like, you end up doing things that you don't think you're capable of. If you write it down on paper, you go, fucking hell, we're not going to do that. But actually, you just find something deep within. Do you know what I mean? The weight on the bar just kind of disappears, and the number of reps you're doing, you just kind of get through it.
Yeah, it's that competitiveness, isn't it? That's what kicks in them moments when you're like, right, nothing's going to stop me from doing this now other than me. And it just shows that. I think that, when you do know that you've got that within you, I think that's when you get the most out of sessions. And it's similar to what we were talking about at the start when we were taking the piss out of our hours on Friday with that workout. It's because I do have that in me. And when I don't display it, or I don't feel like I've given it, it's a real bitter pill to swallow, because you know what you're capable of. So why can you only push yourselves in certain arenas or certain avenues? Why can't it always be the standard? And I know it's hard to sort of maybe deliver to that level when you're just in training, or you're just in practice, or you're just in, but that's, I don't know. It's good to know you can. And how do you know you can if you never do?
Yeah. It's not a skill that you're not going to access it all the time, are you? Do you know what I mean? Because the environment's got to be right. And do you know what I mean? Like, it's a long time since I've ever been in a position, like competitive position like that. Do you know what I mean? But you find it in there somewhere. It's a bit of pressure in it. So I've always kind of enjoyed being under a bit of pressure. So yeah, it was a cool day, mate. It was a really cool day. It was great. Atmosphere was banging. Everyone was absolutely buzzing afterwards. So it's proper. And it is every year. We'll be back next year, giving it its best and having fun while we're doing it. And we kind of pride ourselves on that. We don't bang a drum too loud. We just turn up, have a good time, and the chips fall where they fall. Do you know what I mean? And the hard work and the effort. Like, I know the tagline is no words, just actions, but it is that. Like, we don't need to talk about it. We'll just turn up and do it.
Yeah, love that, mate. We got Yanni weren't on at the start, mate. We reckon he's asked if your ears are warm.
No, bit harder hearing. We've already had that conversation. 4 women in the house. No good.
Yeah, if he puts his hat over his ears, mate, he can't hear you. So, right, mate. So what we got? Coming up? Yeah, you look a bit. Yeah, weirdly, you look better with ears poking out. But what we got coming up, mate? Project updates, project news before we close it.
Coming up, obviously, this Friday, second open workout. And then next Friday, the 13th, we're doing the third open workout, but we're doing a bit more event style in the evening. So we'll get the barriers out, kind of turn the tunes up. Mamo's Pizza's coming down. We're not going to do fancy dress. We're going to do team colours. So you're going to come down, team colours, run heats all night. So we're going to make a bit of a Friday night finale, I think we're going to call it. Then cafe, hopefully that's going to be finished this weekend. Flooring's going down in the cafe. We've renovated the cafe. So that's going down Thursday. Furniture's getting delivered Friday. So hopefully what the new cafe is going to look like will be finished by this weekend. That's been a bit of a slog, but it's going to be great. It's going to be so good when it's done. And then what have we got coming? 21st, Project Quad. Teams of 4. We've got 10 teams at the minute.
Decent.
Yeah, not a bad turnout. Not as good as last year. We've tried our best to push some teams, but there's so much going off now, mate. It's so difficult. And obviously, like we've spoke about before, we're trying to have a big push and get out to as much as we can and try and return the favour to as many gyms as possible and taking part in their events and stuff. So yeah, if there is anyone out there that wants to jump in, team of 4, 2 male, 2 female, it's always a fun day. You're on the mic, aren't you?
I am. Bringing the atmosphere. Bringing
the fire. Yeah. And then that's about it, really, I think. I don't think there's anything else in March. It's then April. We've got our first High Rocks sim of the year, which is like the 11th of April, I think, which will be cool. They were class last year.
Right, good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've got 20 entries for that at the minute, but not really done too much of a push with that. But yeah, it's cool that the gym's perfect for it. The setup we've got is just so good. Like the run's great. The gym, the configuration of the gym and how it flows is perfect.
Yeah, I enjoyed the last one. I'm not here for that one though, so I'll have to let you do it without me, mate.
Well, where are you? You're away.
Going to watch Zach Bryan, mate, in America. He's playing on my birthday in a state I've never visited, so I'm going to go and do that. Yeah, 55th, mate. Yeah, cracking on a bit now.
When you enter open next year, 55s when weights and stuff come down into.
Oh, is it? Is that when you don't have to squat below parallel as well? Might be wall balls a bit faster. That.
Well, I think that goes in any category, doesn't it? I think any category in any High Rocks event.
Yeah, I wonder how many High Rocks has got stuck into this. Actually, I seen someone that is it Charlie Bottrell.
I think I saw his name on the leaderboard. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's predominantly in High Rocks, and he posted this saying, "Oh, I could get used to this CrossFit lot because he'd done pretty well," and then just getting pelters in the comments, from everyone saying, "We'll see you next week, pal." Well, and then he commented on his own post saying, "I've got a newfound respect for CrossFitters. Actually, that were rough." So I think he kind of almost walked it back a little bit because he was just getting.
Well, he's going to get filled in the second and third week. You know what I mean? We've got a low skill capacity test for the first week. Like if you're doing High Rocks at any kind of level and you're not very good at that workout, you're not doing High Rocks at any great level, are you? Let's be honest.
No. It's Kentucky Hardy. I'm trying to do all 50. That's one of my bucket list things. So he's playing in Louisville. So I'm going there. What do you think then? Just one quick one. Do you think that it's probably weird to try and get inside Dave Castro's head, but do you think in any way that was programmed with a little nod to anyone that's doing High Rocks because they don't know they're doing CrossFit and they go, "Oh, I can do CrossFit," and then they all sign up for Open and maybe start feeding into affiliates? Do you think there were any form of that, or do you think Dave just doesn't give a fuck at all?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, was it CrossFit Games posted? Did you see that? Was it like a meme?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah.
The handshaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know whether it was a coincidence or what, or whether it was planned or whatever. But yeah, it's a low skill capacity test. So I guess it's not just accessible to Arox, is it? Anyone could have turned up and had a jab at that. And it's like any other CrossFit workout that's going to come out over the next 2 weeks. There's going to be options for everyone. Scaled, beginner, or foundation, whatever they call it. Like, there'll be something for everybody to do. If you want to come and you want to get yourself on the worldwide leaderboard, then there'll be something there for you. It's just a willingness to go and have a go, I guess. Put yourself out there.
It's a nice close, mate. Leave it at that.
Pretty good at that, aren't they?
You're not bad, mate. I'm going to clip that bit. I've been waiting for a clip all day because I don't want to spend hours trying to find one tonight because I need my beauty sleep.
You could do it. You're looking a bit tired, mate.
Mate, if you couldn't even comprehend, even a man of your caliber with the work you put in, I don't think anyone could comprehend what I've done to myself over the last 5 days. So I'll take that. I don't mind. I'm here.
Try it with 3 kids.
That's what they all say, innit? They all blame the bloody kids.
3 kids that are all ill.
Well, that sounds to me like you've got an easy run. Like they're all ill and just laid about badly. You don't have to do it. You don't even have to put them in the cage when they're ill, do you?
Well, I'll bring them round. You can have a run at it. A bit like rugby, maybe. You can have a run at that as well. We'll do the rugby thing, and then I'll bring kids round for a weekend, and I'll pick them up on Monday morning. I'll see how it went.
I'll be back at net playing footy in no time, mate. Right, called it. Cheers, mate. Thanks everyone for watching.